I was on a long drive with my closest male friend when my car suddenly failed. No, no, no. I slapped the steering wheel hard as the engine gave one final weak cough and went completely silent. White smoke billowed from beneath the bonnet like a dying beast's last gasp. The air conditioning died with a tired mechanical groan, leaving us trapped in sudden, suffocating heat. "This is just perfect," Sam grumbled from the passenger side while lowering his window. We were stuck in the middle of nowhere in Nevada, the temperature likely over 110 degrees, and now officially stranded. I gazed at the deserted highway that stretched endlessly in both directions. Not one vehicle had passed in the past hour, only empty blacktop, dry bushes, and distant mountains that looked fake against the burning sky. My phone showed just one weak signal bar. I quickly dialed, heart racing. "Come on, answer," I whispered as the ringing continued. It went to voicemail, of course. "Hey, it's me. Our car has broken down and we're stuck on the road." I squinted at the last mile marker I could recall. Route 50, somewhere between empty desert and even emptier desert. "Call me back right away, please. This is an emergency." Sam had already stepped out and was lifting the bonnet with familiar skill. "Let me guess, straight to voicemail?" he asked. "He's probably in a meeting," I replied, hearing how weak my excuse sounded. "It's Tuesday afternoon. He has that important presentation today." "Right." Sam vanished behind the raised bonnet, muttering quietly to himself. "Pass me that water bottle from your bag, will you?" I fetched the bottle and walked over to where he was leaning into the engine. Sweat already glistened on his forehead, and his t-shirt was beginning to cling to his back. The engine bay looked like total chaos, hoses snaking everywhere, metal components I couldn't name, all coated in fine desert dust. "So, what's the diagnosis, mister?" "Mechanic," I asked, trying to sound casual. "Good news, it's not the transmission." He poured water over a steaming part and stepped back as more vapor exploded upward. "Bad news, the radiator hose has failed and the water pump might be gone too. Without proper tools," he shrugged. My phone vibrated, a message from my boyfriend. "In back-to-back meetings until 6. "What's going on? You've got to be kidding me." I stared at the screen. Back-to-back meetings. I had told him it was urgent. Sam glanced at my phone, then returned to the engine. "What did he say?" "He said he's in meetings until 6. I checked the time. It was barely 2 o'clock, 4 more hours. "Huh." Sam's tone stayed carefully neutral. But I caught the slight edge beneath it. "Well, I guess we're on our own," I texted back desperately. "Car is completely dead, stranded in the middle of the desert. Need help immediately." His reply came almost instantly. "Can't talk now, called roadside assistance." "Called roadside assistance," I repeated aloud. "Does he think I'm stupid?" Sam looked up from where he was poking around with a screwdriver he'd pulled from the trunk. "I take it Prince Charming isn't coming to save the day. He told me to call roadside assistance." I was already dialing, like that wasn't the very first thing I tried. The roadside service agent was polite but not helpful. "I'm sorry, ma'am, but the soonest we can send a tow truck to your location is tomorrow morning. We're swamped with breakdowns because of this heat wave and you're in a very remote spot. Tomorrow morning," my voice cracked. "We can't stay out here all night. I understand your frustration. You could try flagging down a passing vehicle." I hung up and looked at Sam, who was now elbow-deep in the engine. "Tomorrow morning. That's the earliest they can arrive." "Great," he said, wiping his hands on his jeans and leaving dark, greasy marks. "New plan. I think I can rig something temporary using the spare hose from the windshield washer reservoir. It's not perfect, but it might get us to the next town. You can actually do that." "I can try." He was already pulling real tools from his backpack, not just basic emergency stuff, but proper mechanical tools. My dad forced me to learn this when I got my first car, said I'd thank him one day. I watched him work, methodically disconnecting hoses and checking connections. His actions were sure and practiced. Meanwhile, I kept glancing at my phone, hoping for anything more useful from my boyfriend than his casual replies. Another text arrived. "Babe, I'm sure it's not serious. Cars break down sometimes. Just wait for the tow truck." "Just wait for the tow truck," I read out loud. He says it's not a big deal and cars break down all the time. Sam paused his work. "Did you mention we're stuck in the desert with no shade and over 100 degrees? Of course I did. And his suggestion is to just wait it out. Apparently, anger was building inside me now. He's acting like this is nothing. Sam stayed silent for a moment, continuing his repairs. Then, without looking up, "You know, in the 3 years I've known you, I don't recall him ever actually showing up when you really needed him. That's not fair, isn't it? He glanced at me briefly. Remember last month when you had food poisoning, who drove you to urgent care at 2 in the morning? You did, and when your apartment flooded. Who spent the whole weekend helping you move everything and handle the insurance? You, but that's different, you're my friend. Right, his voice remained calm, but there was a sharper note now. I'm your friend, so what does that make him? Before I could reply, he stood up, wiping more grease onto his shirt. Okay, I think I've got something workable here. It's ugly and definitely temporary, but it might hold. He had somehow bridged the broken radiator line using a piece of windshield washer hose secured with duct tape and hope. It looked like backyard surgery. Will it last? Long enough to reach the next town, hopefully. He was refilling the radiator with our remaining water bottles. Cross your fingers, my phone rang. Finally, thank goodness, I said, answering at once. Where have you been? I've been texting you for over an hour. I told you I'm in meetings. My boyfriend sounded annoyed. Look, I only have a second. What's the big emergency? Our car broke down. We're stranded in the desert. Okay, well, did you call roadside assistance? Of course I called them. They can't get here until tomorrow morning. Tomorrow? That seems extreme. Are you sure you called the correct number? I looked at Sam, who was pretending not to listen while making final tweaks to his repair. Yes, I'm sure. The heat wave has caused tons of breakdowns and we're in the middle of nowhere. Well, I don't know what you expect me to do from here. I can't magically appear in Nevada. I want you to care. I want you to act like your girlfriend being stranded in the desert is more important than your meetings. My stupid meetings, those meetings are paying for this trip, remember? And anyway, you're not exactly stranded with Sam right there with you. The line went silent. Even Sam looked up. What is that supposed to mean? I demanded. Nothing. Look, I have to go. Just handle it, all right? You're both adults. He hung up. I stared at the phone, stunned by what I'd just heard. Sam watched me, his face unreadable. Everything all right? He asked softly. He said we should just handle it because we're both adults, and that I'm not really stranded since you're here. Sam didn't reply right away. He turned back to the engine and checked his repair once more. All right, he said at last. Let's see if this works. He got into the driver's seat and turned the key. The engine cranked, hesitated, then started with a rough rumble. Steam still rose, but less dramatically. It's running, I said, surprised. It's running, he agreed. Question is, for how long? He gently revved the engine, listening carefully. I think we can reach the next town if we drive carefully and stop if the temperature climbs too high. I climbed into the passenger seat, still digesting my boyfriend's cold attitude. Since the air conditioning was dead, Sam lowered all the windows. Hot desert wind rushed through as we pulled back onto the empty highway. You know, Sam said after a few minutes of driving, I meant what I said earlier. About what? He kept his eyes on the road, one hand on the wheel, the other watching the temperature gauge. About him never showing up when you need him. I started to argue, then stopped. Because no matter how much I wanted to defend my boyfriend, I couldn't remember a single time in the past year when he had dropped everything to help me with a real crisis. It had always been Sam. Sam who drove me to the hospital when I broke my wrist. Sam who helped me move apartments. Sam who spent his Saturday fixing my computer before a major work presentation. I never asked you to do those things, I said quietly. I know. He glanced at me for a second before looking back at the road. That's not why I do them. The engine made a worrying sound and he immediately pulled over to check the gauge. We weren't going to get much farther on this temporary fix, but at least someone was trying. We limped into a tiny settlement called Desert Springs after another 20 minutes of careful driving. Sam parked at the only gas station for miles around. The temperature gauge was climbing into the danger zone again, and steam was starting to escape once more. We made it this far, Sam said, shutting off the engine, but I don't think we're going much farther without proper parts. The gas station looked frozen in the 1980s. A bell rang as we entered, and the old man behind the counter glanced up from his newspaper with mild surprise. Car trouble? He asked, nodding at our smoking vehicle. Radiator hose, Sam explained. Any chance you stock auto parts? The man chuckled. Son, I've got motor oil, washer fluid, and air fresheners. For anything more serious, you'll have to wait for Benny. Who's Benny? The local mechanic, but he's out fishing until Thursday. My heart sank. Thursday? It's only Tuesday. Yep. He goes fishing every week around this time, won't be back till Thursday afternoon. Sam rubbed his forehead, smearing more grease. Any other options? Another town nearby. Next real mechanic is about 60 miles north, but I wouldn't risk it in your condition. My phone had been vibrating and I finally checked it. 3 more messages from my boyfriend, each more annoying than the last. How's it going? Fixed yet? You've been gone all day. Starting to think you planned this breakdown, lol. Seriously though, when are you coming back? I made dinner reservations for tonight. He made dinner reservations, I said, staring in disbelief. We're stuck in the middle of nowhere and he's worried about dinner reservations. Sam looked over my shoulder. He thinks you planned this. Apparently it's some big scheme. I typed angrily, car still broken, stuck until Thursday, cancel the reservations. His reply was instant, Thursday, that's crazy. Just rent a car, I showed Sam, because obviously there's a rental place in Desert Springs, population 12. Actually about 40, the attendant corrected helpfully. But no rental cars. Sam went outside to inspect the car again and I followed. He lifted the bonnet and examined his temporary repair, which was already failing. Duct tape was peeling and a small puddle of coolant was forming underneath. So what are our choices? I asked. We could call for a tow back to a bigger city, but it'll cost a fortune. We could wait here until Thursday for Benny. Or, he paused, thinking, or I could find the parts and do a proper fix myself. Where would you find parts out here? Junkyard. Most small towns have one, let me ask inside. He was right, the attendant pointed us to a scrapyard 2 miles outside town. Sam talked the owner, a tough woman named Rosa, into letting us search for $20 plus whatever parts we could salvage. While Sam disappeared among the rusted wrecks, I tried calling my boyfriend again. This time he answered. Finally, he said instead of hello, I've been waiting. Did you get the car fixed? No, we didn't. We're in some tiny town and the only mechanic won't return until Thursday. Thursday? Come on, you're exaggerating. There must be someone else. I'm not exaggerating, we're literally in the middle of the desert. Look, I understand you're upset, but you need to sort this out. I already canceled our dinner reservations and now people are asking where you are. People are asking. What did you tell them? I told them you and Sam went on some spontaneous road trip and lost track of time. Lost track of time. Our car broke down, I know, but I can't tell everyone my girlfriend is stranded, can I? It makes me look bad. The word struck hard. It makes you look bad, you know what I mean. Like I can't handle my own girlfriend, but you can't even take care of me. You haven't even tried to help. What am I supposed to do from 300 miles away? I can't fix your car from here. From across the junkyard, I heard Sam call out happily, found one, this might actually work. Who was that? My boyfriend asked. Sam. He found a part that could fix the car. Of course he did. There was clear bitterness in his voice now. Sam to the rescue again. What is that supposed to mean? Nothing. Forget it. No, tell me what you meant. Just that it's awfully convenient how Sam always fixes your problems. Makes me wonder what you'd do without him. Heat rose in my chest that had nothing to do with the sun. Are you seriously making this about Sam right now? He's the only reason we're not still stuck on the highway. Right, Saint Sam never does anything wrong, at least he's here. At least he's trying instead of worrying about dinner plans and how things look. You know what? Call me when you're ready to come home and stop acting like a child. He hung up again. I stood in the burning heat, phone in hand, feeling more isolated than ever. From the junkyard, I could hear Sam discussing radiator compatibility with Rosa, his voice calm and focused. When he finally emerged carrying a used radiator hose, his face showed success. This should work, it's not a perfect match, but I can adapt it. He took one look at my face and stopped. What happened? He hung up on me, again. Sam set the parts down carefully. What did he say? He said I was acting like a child. And that it's convenient how you always solve my problems. Sam was quiet for a moment, cleaning his hands on a rag. You know what's convenient. Having someone who actually cares enough to stay when things get tough. Sam, no, I'm serious. Do you want to know what I did when you called yesterday morning excited about this trip? I cleared my entire weekend, took Monday and Tuesday off, told my sister I couldn't help her move because I had plans with you. I stared at him. You didn't tell me you canceled things just because I wanted company, because being with you matters more than anything else I had planned. He picked up the hose again, inspecting it. When was the last time he canceled something important to be with you? I tried to recall and found nothing. That's what I thought. Sam's voice was tired, not angry. Do you want to know what's really convenient? Having a boyfriend who only wants you around when everything is easy. He's not usually like this, is he? Sam looked me straight in the eyes. Be honest with yourself. When have you ever had a real problem that he actually helped solve? I opened my mouth, then closed it, because he was right and we both knew it. Come on, Sam said, picking up his toolbox. Let's fix this car so we can decide what's next. As we walked back to the gas station, my phone buzzed again. Stop being stubborn. Just take a bus home and we'll laugh about this next week. A bus. He wanted me to abandon the trip, the car, Sam, and just take a bus home so we could laugh about it later. I looked at Sam, who was already planning the repair, muttering about fittings and coolant levels. He had spent his own money, ruined his clothes, and was about to work for hours in the scorching heat to fix my car, while my boyfriend suggested I take a bus. For the first time, I truly understood what that meant. Sam worked on the car for the next 2 hours while I sat in the shade, watching him. The heat had climbed higher and sweat poured down his face as he bent over the engine. You should rest, I called. You'll get heat exhaustion. Almost finished, he replied without looking up. Just need to position this clamp correctly. My phone kept vibrating with messages, but I ignored them. Finally, I checked a string of increasingly angry texts from my boyfriend. You're not answering, are you mad? This is ridiculous, you're being childish. Fine, stay mad, see if I care. BTW, Chad asked where you were at lunch, had to make up a story about car trouble. People are starting to talk. Jenny asked if we broke up. Call me back, this is getting embarrassing. I screenshotted them and noticed something. The timestamp on his in meetings until 6 message was 2:15 p.m., but his message about lunch with Chad was at 2:45 p.m. He hadn't been in meetings. He was having lunch with friends while I was stranded. That lying jerk, I muttered. What now? Sam asked, wiping his hands. I showed him the screenshots. He said he was in meetings all afternoon, but look, he was having lunch with Chad at 2:45. Sam's expression hardened, so he lied about being busy. And now he's worried about appearances. Of course he is. Sam turned back to the engine, tightening a bolt with extra force. God forbid anyone thinks he can't control his girlfriend. Before I could reply, a battered pickup truck pulled up. 2 men stepped out, clearly drunk despite the early hour. The bigger one noticed our car with the hood up and Sam working. Having car trouble, friend, he called, walking over with his companion. Nothing I can't handle, Sam replied politely, not looking up. Nice car, the second man said, touching the paint. What year? 2021? 2021, I answered reluctantly. Damn nice ride, the first man grinned at me in a way that made me uncomfortable. You two going somewhere special? Just passing through, Sam said, standing straighter. I could see the tension in his body. Well, if your boyfriend can't fix it, my buddy Tony has a garage in town. Might take a few days for parts though. A few days and you'd need a place to stay. The man's grin grew. We know a spot, thanks, but we're good, Sam said firmly, stepping slightly between me and them. Come on, no need to be rude. We're just trying to help some stranded folks. The tone turned less friendly. Seems like you could use all the help you can get. That's when my phone rang. It was my boyfriend. Without thinking, I answered loudly enough for everyone to hear. Thank God you finally called back. We have some guys here bothering us and… Whoa, slow down, my boyfriend interrupted. Guys bothering you? What guys? There are these 2 men who showed up and they're being really creepy and… Are you serious? You're calling me about random people talking to you. I thought this was a real emergency. The 2 men had heard everything. They smirked. Emergency, the bigger one mocked. Sounds like your boyfriend doesn't think you're in real trouble. Humiliation burned my face. Can you please just… Look, I don't know what you want me to do about random guys in Nevada. Handle it yourself, you've got Sam there, right? He hung up. Again, the 2 men laughed. Boyfriend hung up on you, that's cold, sweetheart. Sounds like he doesn't care what happens to you out here. Sam slammed the hood shut with a loud bang. Time for you 2 to leave. Or what? The second man stepped closer. You gonna make us, if I have to. I had never seen Sam look so intimidating. Normally easygoing, now covered in grease and sweat, he looked ready for anything. The men must have sensed it too. After a tense stare down, they backed away. Whatever, man, you're lost, the bigger one spat on the ground. Come on, Billy, let these city people figure it out. They drove off. My hands were trembling as I put my phone away. You okay? Sam asked gently. No, I said honestly. No, I'm really not okay. Sam started the car and it turned over smoothly this time. The temperature gauge stayed normal, no more steam. It's fixed, I asked, amazed. It's fixed, he smiled faintly. Should get us where we need to go now. We drove in silence for a while, both absorbing everything. Finally, I spoke. He hung up on me. Those guys were clearly dangerous, and he hung up on me. I noticed, and they heard every word. They heard him say it wasn't an emergency. They heard him tell me to deal with it myself. Sam's knuckles were white on the wheel. Yeah, if you hadn't been there, I didn't finish, but I was there. What if you hadn't been? What if I was alone? Sam pulled over at a scenic viewpoint and turned off the engine. We sat looking out at the vast desert, mountains in the distance. Can I ask you something? He said eventually. Sure, when was the last time he made you feel safe? The question hit hard. What do you mean? I mean, when was the last time something scary happened and calling him actually made you feel better instead of worse? I thought carefully. Every difficult moment in the past year, the scary medical results, my boss yelling at me, my dad's heart attack, I had called Sam, not my boyfriend. I can't remember, I admitted. Sam nodded as if he'd expected it. You know what I think? You deserve someone who would do anything to reach you if you were in trouble. Someone who would cancel everything, drive all night, spend everything they have to keep you safe. Sam, I'm not saying it has to be me, I'm just saying it should be someone. And it definitely shouldn't be someone who hangs up when you're scared. My phone buzzed, another text, whatever game you're playing, it's not funny anymore. Come home, he thinks I'm playing a game, I showed Sam. Sam read it and shook his head. Of course he does, what do you mean? It means he can't imagine you having real problems that aren't about him. He thinks you're faking being stranded just for attention. I looked at the message, then at Sam's grease-covered clothes and worried face. My boyfriend thought I was playing games while Sam had spent the whole day getting dirty to help me. You know what? I typed furiously. Not playing games, car is actually broken. I'm actually stranded, some creepy guys actually bothered us, but don't worry, according to you it's not a real emergency. His reply, don't be dramatic. If it was really bad, Sam wouldn't let anything happen. I showed it to Sam, who laughed without humor. At least he's right about that. I wouldn't let anything happen to you. Why? I asked suddenly. Why do you care so much? Sam stayed silent for a long moment, staring at the desert. You really want to know? Yeah. He turned to face me, eyes holding something new. Because you matter to me, because when you're happy, I'm happy. Because when you're in trouble, nothing else matters until I know you're safe. And because I've been in love with you for about 2 years now and I'm tired of hiding it. The silence felt electric. I stared at Sam, stunned. 2 years. He had loved me for 2 years and I never knew. Sam, my phone rang before I could continue. My boyfriend's name lit up the screen. Sam saw it and leaned back. You should answer. I hesitated, then took the call. Hello, okay, I've been thinking, my boyfriend said. I talked to Chad, he thinks you should just drive to Vegas. It's only a couple hours away. Get the car checked there, stay in a nice hotel, turn this into a vacation. Vegas, yeah, you can make it fun. You and Sam can handle it. What about you? Would you come meet us? There was a pause. Well, I can't just drop everything and fly to Vegas. I have work, but you and Sam can manage. You want me to go to Vegas with Sam? Without you, why not? You're already on your little adventure together. The words hurt. Little adventure, like this nightmare has been fun, and what if I said I needed you? What if I wanted my boyfriend with me instead of just sending me off with another guy? Another guy, Sam is your friend, it's not like, he laughed awkwardly. You're being ridiculous. Am I? Yes. Look, Sam's already there and good with cars. I don't see why I need to fly out when you have help. Something inside me broke, because I'm your girlfriend. When your girlfriend needs you, you're supposed to want to be there. I do want to be there, but I'm being practical. Sam's got it covered. What if Sam wasn't here? What if I was alone? But you're not alone. That's not the point. Then what is the point? You want me to prove something by rushing there when you already have someone who can help? I looked at Sam. He was trying to give me space, but tension showed in his posture. Never mind, I said. You're right, Sam's got it handled. Good, I'm glad you're being reasonable. Text me when you reach Vegas, okay? He hung up. Vegas? Sam asked quietly. He thinks we should drive there and make a vacation out of it. He said you could handle everything. Sam turned to me. And what do you think? I think I just asked my boyfriend to be with me when I needed him, and he said no because you're already here. Yeah, that's not normal, is it? That's not how relationships should work. Sam was quiet. What do you think? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Hey, this is Jenny from book club. Got your number from Mark. He said you were on a road trip with Sam. Thought you broke up with him months ago. Confused. My blood ran cold. Oh my God, what? I showed Sam the text. Jenny from book club, she thought I broke up with my boyfriend months ago. Sam's eyes widened. What? She says Mark told everyone we split up. He even brought a date to Tyler's birthday party last month and said I was seeing other people. I felt the world tilt. He brought a date, he told people we broke up. Sam leaned over to read. When was Tyler's party? Last month, the weekend I was visiting my sister in Portland. My voice sounded empty. He said he had to work that weekend. That's why he couldn't come, but he went to a party with a date. With a date, I typed back frantically. What date? Who did he bring? Some blonde girl from his gym, really pretty. He introduced her as his girlfriend. Are you in an open relationship or something? I screenshotted everything and called my boyfriend immediately. He answered cheerfully. Miss me already? Who's the blonde girl from your gym? Silence. What? Tyler's birthday party last month. You brought a date and called her your girlfriend. Who told you that? Does it matter? Is it true? Look, it's not what you think. Not what I think. You took another woman to a party and introduced her as your girlfriend, but it's not what I think. She's just a friend. People were asking about you, and it was easier to. I was drinking. I said something stupid. You said something stupid. You introduced another woman as your girlfriend because you said something stupid. Sam had stepped out of the car and was pacing, clearly furious but giving me space. It didn't mean anything. It was just one night and you were gone anyway. I was visiting my sick sister. You said you had to work. I did work late Friday and then Tyler invited me, and you decided to bring a date. She's not a date, she's just, look, we've been having problems, okay? You're always busy with work or with Sam, and I was feeling neglected, so you found someone else. It's not like that. Then what is it like? Explain how you take another woman to a party and call her your girlfriend while lying to me about working. You're blowing this out of proportion. Am I? From where I'm sitting, it looks like you've been living a double life. Telling people we broke up, dating other women, lying about work. I haven't been dating other women. It was one party that I know about. How many others do I know about? Silence. That's what I thought, I said quietly. Look, can we talk about this when you get home? This isn't a phone conversation. No, the word came out firm. No, we're talking now. You're being emotional. You're stressed in the desert and not thinking clearly. I'm thinking clearer than I have in months. What does that mean? I looked at Sam, who had stopped pacing and was watching with concern. It means I'm starting to see what everyone else already saw, but I was blind to. What are you talking about? Ginny knew we were broken up before I did. She thought it was strange you told people we split months ago. Months ago? How long have you been telling people we're not together? It's complicated. It's really not. Either we're together or we're not. Either you're my boyfriend or you're not. Either you care or you don't. Of course I care about you. Do you? Tears stung my eyes, but they were angry tears. Caring means being there when I need you. It means not lying. It means not introducing other women as your girlfriend. You're with Sam right now. Sam is my friend. Sam fixed my car. Sam protected me from creepy strangers while you hung up on me. Sam has been loyal, helpful, and honest. Sam's in love with you. The words landed like a slap. I glanced at Sam, who had gone completely still. How do you know that? I asked softly. Come on, it's obvious, the way he looks at you, how he's always available. I've known for months, you've known for months that Sam has feelings for me. Yeah, and you never said anything. What was I supposed to say? I don't know, maybe care. Maybe worry that another man loved your girlfriend. Maybe try to be the one I called when I needed help. I do want. No, you don't. You were relieved. You were glad Sam was here, so you didn't have to be. You were probably happy when I said I was going on this trip with him because it meant you could spend the weekend with your gym girlfriend without hiding. That's not, isn't it? Tell me honestly. When I told you Sam and I were going on this road trip, were you upset? Were you jealous? Did you wish you were coming instead? The silence was all the answer I needed. You were relieved, I said, voice breaking. You were relieved to get rid of me for a few days. That's not true. Yes, it is, and the worst part, I've been feeling guilty this whole time. Guilty for wanting you to care more, guilty for needing more, guilty for being disappointed when you weren't there. Sam had moved closer. I saw the fierce protective look on his face. I've been apologizing for having needs, apologizing for wanting my boyfriend to actually act like one. But I'm done apologizing. What are you saying? I looked at Sam, standing in the heat, shirt ruined, hands dirty from hours of work, face sunburned from protecting me. Then at my phone full of lies and excuses from the man who was supposed to love me. I'm saying this conversation is over, we're done. You can't be serious. You're ending 2 years over one stupid party. I'm not ending it over one party. I'm ending a relationship that's been dead for months. You already told everyone it was over. I'm just making it official. You're making a mistake. I hung up and blocked his number immediately. Sam leaned against the car door. You okay? No, I said honestly, but I think I will be. My phone kept buzzing with notifications from different numbers. I turned it off completely. So, Sam said carefully, what happens now? I looked at him, really looked. He had confessed his love and then watched me uncover all the lies and betrayal. Yet he stayed patient and supportive, never pushing. "Now," I said, "I think we finish our road trip." We had been driving for about an hour when Sam's phone started ringing. He frowned at the screen. "It's your ex," he said, "don't answer." The phone stopped, then rang again and again. "He's persistent," Sam noted. "He's panicking." I felt strangely calm. He probably realized all his lies are about to explode. Sam's phone buzzed with a text. He handed it to me. "You can read it." The message, "Tell her to answer her phone. She's making a huge mistake." I deleted it. We drove in comfortable silence until we reached a small roadside diner with a gravel lot and a flickering neon sign that said "Eat." Sam pulled in. "I don't know about you, but I'm starving and I could use some air conditioning." The diner felt timeless, red vinyl booths, checkerboard floor. A few customers were inside, a trucker at the counter, an old couple sharing pie, a family with young kids. We sat in a booth by the window and I finally started to relax. "So," Sam said after we ordered, "how are you feeling about everything?" "Honestly, I feel like an idiot." 2 years, Sam. I wasted 2 years on someone living a double life." "You're not an idiot. You trusted someone who didn't deserve it. That's not a flaw. I should have seen the signs." "What signs?" "That he was a good liar." Before I could reply, the diner door chimed. I looked up and my stomach dropped. My ex walked in. "How did he find us?" I whispered. "GPS, probably." "If he has your phone location." My ex spotted us and marched over, looking furious and desperate. "We need to talk," he said, ignoring Sam. "No, we don't." I kept my eyes on the menu. "Yes, we do. You can't end our whole relationship over a misunderstanding." "Misunderstanding? You told people we broke up months ago." "What part of that is a misunderstanding?" "Keep your voice down," he hissed, noticing people staring. "Why? Worried about what people will think? This is private." Between us, Sam leaned back, arms crossed. "Funny how you care about privacy now." My ex glared at Sam. "This doesn't concern you." "Actually, it does," Sam said calmly. "I'm the one who's been taking care of your girlfriend while you were playing house with someone else." "Taking care of her? Is that what you call it?" The trucker had turned around to watch. The old couple was listening openly now. "Yeah," Sam said, "taking care of her. Actually being there when she needs help. Novel idea, right? And I'm sure you've been a perfect gentleman. I'm sure you haven't been trying to turn her against me." "I didn't have to turn her against you. You did that yourself." My ex's face turned redder. "You think you're so noble." Saint Sam, always ready to save the day. "At least I show up, you just hang up." "That's enough," I said, but they weren't listening to me anymore. "You want the truth," my ex said loudly. "She's been using you for years. Every problem, every time she needs something fixed or a ride, she calls you, and you come running like a pathetic puppy." The family was staring now. Even the waitress had paused. "And you know what she does after you solve everything? She comes home to me, she sleeps in my bed. She talks about her day and doesn't mention you unless it's to complain about how you're always around." I felt slapped. "That's not true, is it?" How many times had I told my ex that Sam was being too much? How many times had I said I wished Sam would back off? Sam's face paled. He looked at me with an unreadable expression. "That's," I began, then stopped. There was some truth. I had complained about Sam being too helpful sometimes. But my ex had made me feel guilty for accepting that kindness, like I was leading Sam on. "See," my ex said triumphantly, "she's been stringing you along. And you were too blind to see it." That's when Sam stood up. The movement was fast. Suddenly he towered over my ex. "You want to call me pathetic?" Sam's voice was low and dangerous. "Let's talk about pathetic. Pathetic is lying to your girlfriend for months. Pathetic is bringing dates to parties while she's caring for her sick family. Pathetic is hanging up when she's scared and needs help. Pathetic is driving 300 miles to chase her down in a diner because you're terrified she'll expose what you really are. What I really am: a coward, a liar. A man so insecure you're threatened by someone who actually cares about her." The whole diner had gone quiet. Kitchen staff had come out to watch. My ex looked around and realized he was the center of a scene. Instead of backing down, he raised his voice even more. "You want to know what's really happening?" he shouted to the entire diner. "My girlfriend ran off with another man and now she's trying to paint me as the villain because she got caught." The trucker snorted. "Caught doing what?" "Having car trouble. She planned this whole thing. The road trip, the breakdown, it's all an excuse to be with her boyfriend's best friend." "Ex-boyfriend," I said firmly, standing beside Sam. "And I didn't plan anything. My car really broke down and Sam really fixed it while you were really on a date with another woman." "I wasn't on a date. You introduced her as your girlfriend. That was a mistake." No, I said. Clearly, my voice carrying through the silent diner. The mistake was thinking I deserved to be treated like garbage for 2 years. 2 years, the elderly woman spoke up. Honey, you wasted 2 years on this fool, apparently. Well, good riddance, the trucker said. Sounds like you're better off without him. My ex spun around to face the strangers. This is none of your business. You made it our business when you started yelling in our diner, the waitress said dryly. And for what it's worth, I'm with them. Any man who hangs up on his girl when she's in trouble isn't worth anything. You don't know what you're talking about. I know enough, the trucker said, standing up. He was a large man, and my ex stepped back instinctively. I know a real man who takes care of business when I see one, he nodded at Sam. And I know a boy who makes excuses when I see one too. He looked at my ex with clear disgust. Been married 43 years, the elderly man added. And I can tell you right now, that boy there, he pointed at Sam, has the heart of a man who'd move mountains for his woman. You've got the heart of a boy who'd let his woman move the mountains herself. My ex looked desperately around the room, but every face showed hostility or disgust. Even the children stared at him like he was something gross. Fine, he said at last.